Of Rajon Rondo dislocating his left elbow in Game 3, serving as inspiration for the Celtics' first win in this series, changing the landscape of this second-round matchup. Now, what can Rondo do? Arguably a player the Celtics can't do without. And how will Miami respond, especially LeBron James, who didn't star in Game 3, all serving as our backdrop tonight. Welcome, everyone, to the sold-out Garden in Boston. With Miami leading 2-1 on TNT, Game 4 tonight. Good evening, everyone. Alongside Reggie Miller, Kevin Harlan. Thank you so much for joining us. With a quick update on all the news here, let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, Rondo's dislocated left elbow is back in place, but the ligaments are torn. He is wearing an elbow pad to prevent further damage. Meanwhile, needs to be more than just an inspirational force. Doc Rivers says, I need his speed and his legs to pressure the ball and also to break down Miami's defense with one arm. After he was told by the doctors he could play, Doc Rivers said, what can I get from you tonight, Rajon? He said, you could get everything I've got. Kevin?
Good stuff, Craig. Thank you very much. So Reggie Miller, let's take a look at our starting lineup, and let's begin with Rondo. You've played the game. What do you think he can conceivably do?
Well, like everyone else, I'm curious to see how is he going to facilitate this game. Watching him during warm-ups, he looked like a glorified ball boy, not able to bring that left arm to the right arm to the basketball. So it's curious to see what's going to happen.
The starting five has changed for Miami. At the center position, it's Joel Anthony getting a start, arguably playing the best basketball of his career.
Coming off a career playoff game, 12 points, 11 rebounds. More activity down low for Erik Spoelstra and the Miami Heat and Joel Anthony.
Our officials tonight, as you take a look at Ilgauskas, who will come off the bench, Monty McCutcheon, Derek Stafford, and Tony Brothers. Miami, as we said, leads this series 2-1, but they have not won here in Boston in 11 consecutive games.
It's funny listening to Erik Spoelstra saying he doesn't know what it feels like to even win in this building as a head coach.
It's Bosh outside, and he is coming off a dismal Game 3, and here comes Rondo. Bibby will be on him, Miami's first possession of the game. Paul Pierce coming off a 27-point Game 3 performance, and Allen inside. Rondo to Garnett. Hacked away, Garnett was hit in the face, in the eye, more specifically, in a quick Miami foul with less than 30 seconds gone here, and Wade will pick up number 1.
Well, that's the most dribbling that we've seen Rondo do since the injury on that left hand, taking the ball in the dribble, in the teeth of the defense of the Heat, dropping it off to Garnett, who got fouled.
So here is Garnett, and he was the hero for the Celtics in Game 3 with 28 points and 18 rebounds. His third quarter, Reggie, in particular, was spectacular when the Celtics moved away from Miami.
6 of 7, 14 points in that third period. And interesting listening to Doc Rivers. We had the fortune of doing Game 2. He needs to be aggressive and take 20 shots. Reg, those were a bad 20 shots in Game 2. In Game 3, much more effective catching the ball down low and being aggressive.
And already Miami getting to the free throw line, something that they watch Boston do with 2 quick shots, and there's a quick 2 by Bibby, who has not played all that well in this series. So Boston gets to the line, and that is an early good sign for the Celtics. Here's Rondo scooping to Jermaine O'Neal. And O'Neal is playing with a bad back and aches all over, but he comes up with a quick 2 right there, and Rondo gets the assist.
You got Rondo, who's battling through injuries, Jermaine O'Neal, Shaquille O'Neal, as well as Delonte West, but all in uniform, ready to play.
A good steal by Garnett. It's the first turnover. Rondo the other way with the right hand. Right around Mike Bibby.
Clearly that left elbow is still affecting him. Refused to take the needle after the injury in Game 3. Refused to take the needle before Game 4 tonight.
Here's LeBron James, 15 points and 6 of 16. It's Bosh, 6-point game in Game 3. Garnett was defended. Picked up by Paul Pierce. By James.
Talking about how effective is Rajon Rondo going to be in the open court, uses that right arm to use the glass. And how about the truth? Paul Pierce igniting the Garden faithful here. This is exactly what Doc Rivers wanted to get into the game. Quick starts was going to be a key to trying to evening up this series.
7 at the run by the Boston Celtics. So like we said, Miami gets to the line, but Boston already has made a step in that direction tonight. Already 3 of 3 is a good sign for the Celtics. It's Wade who finds a little bit of space as Pierce got caught up in the switch, and Dwayne Wade, who scored well in the last game with his 23 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds, finds 2.
Yeah, miscommunication there by Ray Allen and Paul Pierce. That was supposed to be a switch between the 2-3 position. Paul Pierce kind of got caught out of position. A little bit better communication here.
Big question for you is, will Chris Bosh get back in this series after struggling so in game 3?
You know, what a luxury that Doc Rivers has at that power forward position and Kevin Garnett. You just totally take out the opposing team's power forward. You would hope Chris Bosh would have a rebound game, but already talked about how ineffective he was in game 3 by the intensity and the emotions of the game.
There's 4 seconds left on that shot clock when Rondo fired, and here comes Bibby. He's already driven for 2 and a little fadeaway here, and he's free to fire. So he has hit 2 quick shots for the Miami Heat.
Yeah, if you're Eric Spoelstra, you're encouraged here by the play early on of Mike Bibby. There was talks of even bringing in Mario Chalmers to start at that point guard position.
It's O'Neal. Great pass from the perimeter. So Garnett with the assist, and Jermaine O'Neal with a quick 4.
I'm not quite sure there's a better passing big man left in this game than Kevin Garnett.
Anthony to Bibby to Wade. The shot clock in single digits. The switch on defense. Now Garnett watching Wade. It's James. Bibby for 3. Out of bounds. Boston's ball. Once again, Kevin Garnett.
We talked about Kevin Garnett wanting to take 20 shots, but how about the drop down pass there to his comrade Jermaine O'Neal. Double team comes out. Bosh is a little bit late rotating back. He's a pass first player now later on in his career. I wonder if he can give you big numbers offensively.
Rondo. Allen got in foul trouble early in that game 3. O'Neal had it stripped inside. The first turnover for Boston. On transition points, important for the Miami Heat. Wade faces the double. Bosh was picked up by Pierce, then Rondo. Offensive rebound by Dwayne Wade. And approaching 4 minutes gone here in the first quarter. LeBron. Wade. Another Miami turnover. Rondo 1 of 2 so far. Now they put Garnett a lot of the time in game 3 down low, and he really ate up that Miami defense.
Well, he might be their best low post scorer in Kevin Garnett. Because of his length and size, being able to use that jump hook and that size really paid dividends in game 3 for the Celtics.
Anthony the screen. LeBron takes it in and finds 2. What a drive with a terrific move and a good screen, and Jermaine O'Neal will pick up the Boston foul as they clean up. James.
Talk about a straight line drive right here. Fakes coming off the pick and roll, and Jermaine O'Neal is just a little bit late in rotating over. Look at the hit here up top on the head area of LeBron James. Good concentration to finish. But they might be calling this a flagrant 1 because of the blow to the head of LeBron James.
It is a flagrant 1. So here's that free throw shooting we were talking about, something that Doc Rivers talked about tonight, on, and James will be at the line for Miami.
And the reason why they call that a flagrant 1 is anytime you start to have contact above the shoulder area, the referees are been instructed. There's another look, and you see it's almost like Jermaine winds up, and he was trying to make a play on the ball, but again, anytime you get above the shoulder area, concussions, Talk about football and basketball players getting hit in the head and coming down and hitting their head on the hard wood. Good call there.
And a quick 2 for Chris Bosh.
That's basically a 5-point play there. 3-point play by LeBron James, and then the bucket by Chris Bosh.
Pierce inside. A 3-point shot. And Paul Pierce knocks it down. With a look at your head coach, Eric Spoelstra. And Boston's on top by 3. The Celtics have started 5 of 6. Miami has started 5 of 9. Screen by Vivian Pierce. The switch with Rondo on James, who gets his own miss. Pierce the rebound. Rondo the other way, and a quick foul on Bibby. That's the second on Mike Bibby.
Well, that's not too bad. If Bibby picks up 2 quick fouls, even though he's gotten off to a quick start offensively, you're bringing in a better defender in Mario Chalmers.
Chalmers will check in. Right now, it's a look at the cold hard facts presented by Coors Light, your keys for the game.
Well, we talked about the quick start. Whatever team's been ahead after the first period has won the game. Easy points. The Heat are a plus 22 in free throws throughout 3 games. The C's a plus 18 in fast break points. And everyone's been wondering about the Rondo reaction. So far, so good.
Rondo will take it right into Chalmers. This is amazing to watch his start, his aggressive attitude, taking it inside. Rondo has already scored 4 points on 3 shots.
This kid is tough. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. A guy gets a dislocated elbow, they pop it back in, and he comes out and plays the whole 4th period with 1 arm.
Here's Chalmers, he'll put up a 3, coming off a 17-point game 3. Saved by Pierce. Rondo the other way, and he'll wait until his teammates join him. And Chalmers, a defensive-minded point guard, is right on him.
And look at the pressure. They're going to force that ball into the left hand.
He just dribbled with that left hand.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do. If he's in uniform, he's going to make sure he's going to use that left arm.
Here's Allen. Picked up by LeBron James, who clutches onto his 2nd rebound. And James the other way.
Smart move there by Chalmers to pressure Rondo.
Bosh. That was defending Jermaine O'Neal. Collects the ball. The former Miami Heat player O'Neal, who played there a couple of seasons but had injury issues and wanted to be more of an offensive threat. There is a foul on Miami and on Joel Anthony, who has been terrific on defense this series.
Everyone's wondering what Rondo was going to do with that dislocated left elbow. Well, I think he's hushing all the critics. He's playing, ladies and gentlemen.
Padded wrap around that left elbow after the injury in the wake of game 3.
Well, he's already part of Celtic lore now, coming back with that dislocated elbow. And you know, what I've liked is he's still been aggressive in attacking the paint. And look at this last move here. He does put the ball in his left hand to attack the basket. He is shielding it at times behind his body, coming off pick and roll on the defensive end. But he's not worried too much about the contact.
Ray Allen so far has just taken a shot. Kevin Garnett puts up and hits his first shot. Kind of the continuation of game 2. They want him to take a lot of shots, especially down low. Boston does.
20 minimum. They want him to be aggressive, and you don't mind the pick and pop action from Kevin Garnett. But more importantly, they want him in the paint, putting aggressive pressure on the Heat defense.
Kevin Garnett picks up his first personal foul for the Boston Celtics. A look at Doc Rivers, who will again count on Garnett, with most of Garnett's moves and scoring coming down low off the block, deep in the post. And we got Bibby on the Miami bench right now with a couple of fouls. Chalmers has taken his place. No changes yet for Boston. And James beating the shot clock buzzer. Garnett comes up with it. Here comes Paul Pierce. Fast break points have been key, as James knocks it down, have been key for Boston in this series, and leading in that category tonight again, 5-0.
Not quite sure Paul Pierce wasn't tripped. As soon as he beat LeBron James here, you see the swipe there by LeBron. Kind of got tangled up down low. The ball still remains for the Celtics.
7-0 run right now for Boston. Delonte West has checked in for the Celtics.
These last two ball games, Doc Rivers couldn't have wrote a better script here in this first period.
It's a three-point race. James defending. O'Neal trying to get it. Stepped out of bounds. So it is Miami's ball. And they come the other way, Reggie, having missed their last 5 straight shots.
And we talked about the struggles of Chris Bosh in game 3. 1 of 6 from the field, only 6 points. Tonight, thus far, 1 of 5 from the field in 8 minutes and only 1 rebound. Talk about the luxury Doc Rivers has of putting Kevin Garnett on you and just basically taking you out of the series.
Here comes O'Neal. Now Rondo. And again, fearlessly inside. It goes off to Garnett with a Miami foul.
I believe that pass, too, was with the left hand to Kevin Garnett. Look at the explosion here. Watching Derrick Rose last night, his explosiveness into the basket area, but look at Rondo. Gets into the paint. There's 3 black jerseys around him. Left-hand pass to Kevin Garnett, who gets fouled, and already the Celtics going to the line for their 4th and 5th free throws.
Chalmers picks up the foul. Right now, we're going to take a look at the schedule for the series. Coming up Wednesday, May 11th, Boston at Miami. That'll be on TNT, 7 o'clock. And if there is a game 6, Friday, May 13th, that'll be on ESPN. If there is a 7th game, it will be in Miami. It will be on TNT at 8 o'clock Eastern Time with Kevin Garnett at the free throw line and looking at the free throw attempts. The Celtics with 4, the Heat with 1. Doc said that has been the entire series, with Garnett now getting to the line with the first miss right there.
Coming into game 4, the Heat a plus 22 advantage from the free throw line of free throws made.
Wade snaps it out. The uncovered Mario Chalmers with a 3. 7 of 9 in game 3. Pops in a triple right there. That breaks the drought for Miami of almost 4 minutes. A steal. And the result with James getting it. Chalmers and James combining on the Miami steal.
Very casual attitude bringing the basketball up by Rondo and Delonte West.
Landing on that left arm and elbow. And dribbling with it. It's amazing to watch this kid. The foul goes on Chalmers. He picks up number 2. And boom, yep, had to brace himself with that left arm.
Here's the 3 here by Chalmers, and we talked about the casual attitude of the Celtics bringing the basketball up of Delonte West and Rondo. The Heat really not known for forcing turnovers here. Just jump the gun, and LeBron James and Chalmers does a good job of getting their hands on a deflection, coming up with the steal.
Miami has made a substitution. James Jones and Ilgauskas check in. Bosh and Anthony are gone. And Shaquille O'Neal has checked in for the first time tonight. Reggie played 8 minutes in game 3 and was a force as the other O'Neal, Jermaine, will take a breather.
Big body. Still, if you single cover him and he gets the ball low enough, can score. Now the mobility is not there, but you talked about only 8 minutes, 1 of 2 from the field. He's going to put a hard foul on LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, whoever drives.
Here's Pierce watching the driving James. Shaq was in. And that is what James wants to do. Foul goes on Shaq, who picks up his first. The other change for Miami tonight is they have activated Udonis Haslem, who has been out almost 6 months. Was injured with a torn ligament in his left foot. He has been practicing for the last couple weeks and out of civvies and in his uniform tonight. Time for the Cinco Stat of the Night presented by Corona.
When you look at the game 3 between with Wade, James, and Bosh, the big 3 for Miami, a minus 19 in the plus minus category. When one of them is out, a plus 3, and what that's telling me is they've got to find a better way to integrate all 3 of them offensively to get them going. Chris Bosh has really struggled in these last 2 games. Eric Spoelstra is going to really have to address this the longer this series goes.
Eddie House is now checked in for Miami. Here is Delonte West. A quick turnover, the 3rd by the Boston Celtics, and Wade will take it the other way. Into West. Shaq and into Ilgauskas with the quick flush.
Hey, Dwayne Wade, back-to-back possessions, really attacking the basket area. Gets a 3 for Chalmers and a wide-open dunk for Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
Pierce to a 3 over James Jones. Pierce with 8, and he leads the Boston Celtics.
Looks like Pierce really has those lively legs back. I didn't think he really had his legs in games 1 and 2 for whatever reason. In games 3 and 4, aggressive offensively.
Wade, he'll slither in. And he'll draw a foul. Shaq was there, and he picks up his second. So Shaq, who is in there with the bad calf and a bad Achilles, draws his second, with his Celtics leading by 3 late in the first on TNT.
Emotions are going to get a little bit heavy. Things are going to be said. And that's just part of the series. You know, you're in the second round. You got 2 heavyweights going at it. And, you know, that's the way it is. And probably after the series, you know, whoever wins, you'll shake their hands. But, you know, while we're playing, you know, we're trying to do our best to take their heads off, pull their arms, scratch, claw, do whatever we can to win.
Reggie, there is so much at stake tonight. A win for Miami. They go up 3-1 on Pierce's Boston Celtics. Boston certainly can tie. A lot of writers have suggested with so much at stake, the Celtics are better suited with their experience to handle a situation like this. What do you think?
I'll always take experience. This is the team that's been in numerous of Game 7s together, this core group. You got future Hall of Famers. And I understand where Paul is coming from because there's not a lot of love lost. LeBron James made the big decision to go down to South Beach. This is what everyone has been wanting to see. The Boston Celtics versus the Miami Heat. And I understand that there's not going to be any love lost. People are talking about dirty plays all across as you look at Dwayne Wade, what he's done in his 8 career games versus the Boston Celtics. And I agree with Paul Pierce. You shake their hands after the series. We'll worry about that later.
Normally at the 2-minute mark, Doc Rivers will yank Kevin Garnett, and that is what he has done. So Garnett takes a breather. Jeff Green has taken his place, and Green's defense was the talk of Game 3 for Boston.
Might have been his best game, according to Doc Rivers, since the trade of Kendrick Perkins.
Pierce aggressively inside. Down the boulevard, right at LeBron. 2:07 to play in the first. Foul goes on the defense of Ilgauskas, number 1.
Well, it was interesting listening to Paul Pierce when he has to guard and be guarded by LeBron James. He says, look, there's a lot of guys that are scared when they go against LeBron James. I accept that. I want that responsibility.
Good thought. I want to get to that in 1 second as we see Pierce at the line. He's from Los Angeles, Paul Pierce. Game 3, he had 10 of the first 14 points for Boston. Finished with 12 in the first quarter. Already tonight, 9. Again, setting the pace, setting the scoring tempo for the Celtics.
If you're Doc Rivers, to me, I would always try to get Paul Pierce going early because he can always come back and revisit his game come fourth quarter. So it doesn't really matter what goes on in periods 2 and 3. But if he gets off to a good start, you know he's going to be there at the end.
Here's House. That's over Rondo. The rebound by Paul Pierce. Celtics have not trailed. Their biggest lead has been 8. Pierce with 10, 3 of 3 from the line. Rondo with the screen, the switch, and House is now on Pierce. Rebound LeBron, number 2. James. That's an offensive foul on LeBron James. And that is his first personal foul.
How about Rondo named today?
Can you believe this?
First team all defense along with LeBron James and Kevin Garnett. Just moving his feet, taking the charge in the chest.
And what you say before the game, he's not taking a shot, he's not taking a painkiller. This is just all going through
grit.
the natural pain.
This is all grit from this young kid. This kid knows how to play hurt. And there's not a lot of guys in this league that would even think about attempting to play in this game.
He scoops to Pierce. Jones will foul Paul Pierce. It was a 2-point shot. But now it may be overruled by Derek Stafford.
I think Derek Stafford is saying it was called on the floor as opposed to when he was trying to shoot the basketball.
Jones picks up his first personal foul for the Miami Heat.
Look at the pump fake here by Paul Pierce and the body contact by James Jones, but it doesn't matter because they were in the bonus regardless, so he was going to shoot free throws.
So now Pierce goes to the free throw line where tonight he is already 3 of 3. Boston as a team 8 of 9. 5 attempts at the line by Miami. And really, as Rondo will take a breather, Miami has been the team with 30 more attempts coming into this game over the landscape of this series. 30 more free throw attempts than the Boston Celtics. But tonight it is Boston getting to the line, and moments ago you saw Ed Lacerte, the athletic trainer for the Celtics, taking a look at Rondo. It's got to be it can't, and he has used it to shield himself and the dribble as he pops that bad, dislocated left elbow up.
You're talking about the free throws. Really, only Rondo and Paul Pierce are the only two Celtic players that can really create their own shot and get to the free throw line.
We just saw those free throw numbers. That's a real good point. Now watch this moments ago, Rondo working on Eddie House.
This is exactly what you're supposed to do if you're Eddie House in the Heat. You put a lot of pressure on that left elbow. I'm surprised they haven't ran him off a lot of pick and roll situations where those bigs can kind of put a little bit of that meat on that left elbow.
Paul Pierce picks up his first as they continue to look at Rondo. You said something seconds ago I wanted to get back to, that some guys you think are afraid to guard LeBron, but not Paul Pierce.
No, I think Paul Pierce accepts the challenge of going against arguably one of the most talented players this league has ever seen. It was interesting, in my days, there were so many guys that were scared to guard Michael Jordan, and rightfully so. He could give you 50, 60 a night. But what's the worst that could happen? That's what I used to say to myself. Yeah, there was a couple nights when he took 40 to 45 on me. Delonte West gets his first to go. But you've got to accept the challenge of going against the league's best, and that's exactly what Paul Pierce has done.
How about Delonte West coming off a 4-6, 11-point game 3. He is playing with a bruised left shoulder, scoring right there. On the fly, James right into the teeth of O'Neal's defense. And here comes Delonte West the other way. There are no fouls to give. House will be on West. Glenn Davis has checked in. They want him to rebound and set picks and play some D. Don't worry about his offense, they have told him. Here is Pierce, a screen by West, trailed by James into the rack. Paul Pierce, so aggressive with his offense. 14 points to lead all scores in the first quarter.
This is that small lineup that Eric Spoelstra likes to use with LeBron James at the 4 position. Hasn't paid dividends at the defensive end, though.
He's got 11 points. Screen by Ilgauskas, the switch. Shaq holding, LeBron slipping and finding the deuce. So LeBron James, stride for stride with Pierce with 13. It would have counted had it gone in. How about Boston? Rondo plays well. They shoot 67%. They go to the free throw line with 11 shots. Pierce has 14 in this 4th game, an important one. Boston by 3 at the end of 1 on TNT.
Rondo early. What situations have you tried to put him in, and what have you learned?
We tried to run him off screens, and we tried to apply a little bit of pressure, and he still was able to get to his right hand, and that's not what we want. But we want to wear on him as the game goes on. That's not a great start for us defensively, and we got to pick it up there.
A change in the starting lineup. Joel Anthony starting. Udonis Haslem also activated. What changes did you want out of your post?
Well, I mean, that's a hot topic, and it still didn't get us off to a good start. So it's got to be a collective mentality to defend and get to our identity, which we didn't do. Now we're down 3, so we just have to continue to grind.
All right, thanks a lot. Thank you, Kevin.
Great Sager moments ago. Well, in just a little more than 8 playoff games, Reggie Miller, as we start this second quarter. And this is Delonte West packing up the shot, and James with the rebound. Miami starters have been outscored by 72 points, which is interesting. So they don't start Ilgauskas. They go with Anthony. Here is Haslem in the game and playing for the first time since November 20th of last year. And he is a welcome relief for a team that needs his grit in his defense, if nothing else.
And that pick and pop action that Miami is so known for.
O'Neal. This is Jermaine O'Neal back in the game. Out there with Allen, Delonte West. They got Glenn Davis on the floor and Jeff Green. So one starter out there so far. Make it 2 with Jermaine O'Neal and Ray Allen for the Boston Celtics. And here is Chris Bosh. Has them out there with Chalmers. With the ball right now, James Jones, who had a great game 1 with 25. Good steal by Delonte West. A foot race the other way on the 4th Miami turnover. West.
How about Delonte West? That's the prime example of a guard digging down, helping the helper, coming up with that steal. That's how you put your nose in the middle of a big man's chest and come up with the steal.
This is James for three. LeBron James with a triple. 4-point Boston lead. They've led by as many as 8. Miami has never led in the game. 16 for LeBron.
Talked about his struggles in game 3. Only 15 total points for the game already. 16 points on 5 of 8 from the field.
Miami is at 2 threes tonight. Jermaine O'Neal against Bosh. Ariel Chalmers, who grew up in Alaska. James. Green is on him. Boy, they talked about Green's defense on LeBron in game 3, and he picks up a foul right there. So it was Paul Pierce and Green doing a good job on James. They're only at 15 in game 3. The first foul goes on Jeff Green. You take a look historically with a good graphic here, how James has done after bad performances.
Well, it's interesting, and what we talked about is what does he do after one of these games. I believe that last game that he had 15 points against Boston, came out and had a triple-double in another loss in his Cleveland days.
Haslam just picks up a foul, trying to clear some room.
As well as a delay of game.
Yes, exactly. Good point. Well, if you're joining us late, Rajon Rondo started and played well for Doc Rivers. He went 11 minutes. He dribbled with his left hand, which is wrapped right now, and they're putting ice on it, not heat.
Jeff Green and LeBron James going at it down low.
Here is Davis.
That's who Doc Rivers needs to get going offensively. It's Glenn Davis.
He has not had a good series. Nice ball rotation. This is Green for 3. So if Green, who's coming off a 6-point game 3, can score and play rugged defense, he will have answered the bell for Boston, up by 7 right now. They've led by as many as 8.
And for those of you who haven't seen a lot of games of Jeff Green, this is a guy with long arms who's a great defender. It's had
Delonte West. Doesn't make it, Delonte West was fouled by Haslam, who picks up his second personal foul.
How about the ball movement here by the Boston Celtics? Delonte West does a good job of getting into the teeth. And then it's that extra hockey pass.
Oh, technical foul on Haslam. As he's being taken out, he hasn't played in almost 6 months. The long stroll back to the bench. Activated before the game tonight, maybe in the wake of what Garnett was doing so well, eating up that Miami defense in game 3 with his 28 points.
Every game takes on a life of its own.
Good point.
Doc Rivers, he got Shaq back for game 3. Eric Spoelstra tries to answer that by bringing back Haslam here for game 4. There's just a little bit of arguing with the official Tony Brothers. And in this particular game, and in this series, with both teams, as there's a shot of Pat Riley, and both teams are so good defensively, it's all about the easy points, free throws and fast break points. And already in this game 4, the Celtics are winning both.
That is Glenn Davis, who has struggled shooting. He gives Boston their biggest lead. He was working against Joel Anthony. The crowd to their feet. Boston has got the lead right now, 40-31. Stay tuned for a preview of Rockstar Games LA Noir in stores May 17th. Boston Celtics have started the second quarter on a 9-3 run, and you talked earlier about easy points and the importance for both teams tonight in this game 4.
Along with Chicago, you're talking about the Boston Celtics, Miami Heat, and the Chicago Bulls, 3 of the best defensive teams. So half-court offense is going to come at a high price. You've got to do the little things. And right now, the Celtics are a +8 in free throws and fast break points combined.
Chalmers just turned it over. Here comes Delonte West with Jermaine O'Neal, Allen Davis out there for this team. Jeff Green is the 5th Boston Celtic. Chalmers, Bosh, Wade, Anthony, and James Jones. Another shot hit by Delonte West, who's having a very good series. A 7-0 Boston run.
Well, because of Delonte West's size at 6'4", when he comes off that pick and roll, he can look over the defense. And it's another turnover there by the Heat and Chalmers.
Here comes Wade, 1 of 1 so far. Allen defending, good spin move by Dwayne Wade. He's gone to the line for a couple. He's got 6 in the game in 11 minutes.
LeBron James has 16 points leading the Heat. Chris Bosh is struggling. You need Dwayne Wade, who's averaging almost 30 points versus the Celtics in this series. And Allen, 0 of 2 from the field, hasn't scored yet.
He had 15 in game 3, 4 of 11 from the floor. James Jones, this is over Green.
That's a rare 2 by James Jones. Jeff Green did the right thing of running him off that 3-point line. You don't expect James Jones to make a turnaround jump shot.
Green and Jones. Rebound by Bosh. So you are surprised, I think a lot of people are, that Boston in this series has more fast break points than Miami.
Well, when you would think of LeBron James and Dwayne Wade on one team, you would think they would have more fast break points.
O'Neal knocked it away. Retrieved inside by Wade, climbing into the defense of Glenn Davis. And a foul called on Big Baby. He picks up number 1. And Dwayne Wade will find another way to get to the free throw line for the Heat.
I love these fouls. These are playoff fouls right here. You don't let the guy get the ball above his shoulders or head. You put body, you put wood. You make him go to the free throw line and earn them.
Wade at the free throw line for Miami. Just under 7 to play here in the second quarter. TBS tonight, set the DVR. Conan O'Brien is on. You don't want to miss it. Conan, all new weeknights at 11, 10 Central, only on TBS. So Garnett is back in. Paul Pierce is back in the game, joining Jermaine O'Neal, Allen, and West. Rondo taking a breather. Wade at the free throw line. James with 16. Dwayne with 7. 14 from Pierce, leading Boston.
Well, with LeBron James on the bench right now and Paul Pierce checking back in, it's going to be the task of James Jones of trying to slow down Paul Pierce.
Full 6-0 run right now by the Miami Heat, up 2-1 in this series. Garnett and Pierce. Chalmers defending. Bosh and Chalmers were both right there.
Tell you what, Paul Pierce is so crafty with the basketball. That little skip pass right there and just takes the ball right into the chest of Chalmers to pick up that foul.
Here comes Rondo talking with assistant coach Lawrence Frank. The foul for the 3rd time on the former Kansas Jayhawk Chalmers, and here is another Jayhawk at the line. This is Paul Pierce, a little bit shy right there at the stripe, and all kinds of substitutions coming in right now. Pierce has been great from the line in the series, 23 of 26. LeBron James in his night so far.
Aggressive offensively. He hasn't really settled for a lot of outside shots, though. He knocked down that 3 right there, but this is a far cry from game 3 when I thought, to me, he was a little bit passive offensively.
Chalmers and James Jones check out. So it's Bibby and Bosh. Joel Anthony back in the game with LeBron, and Wade remains. Bibby and Rondo. Little show right there by Jermaine O'Neal. Wade threads it inside. Anthony off the knee of Garnett, picked up by Paul Pierce. 7 turnovers for Miami, 4 in the quarter. Approaching the halfway point of this second quarter in game 4 from Boston.
A little floppy action here for the Celtics. Single-double for Ray Allen.
Good pass into O'Neal. But he couldn't convert. Good defense by Miami. They clogged the middle. Bibby, LeBron, Bosh, right into the defense of Garnett. Counted for 2 and a foul. That's the kind of offense they want to see from Bosh, who admitted he was thrown by the emotion in this building in game 3, and he only had 6 points. He was a no-show, and he said he didn't show up.
We talked about fast break points here. LeBron James in the middle. Finally, a Chris Bosh sighting here. Gets the bucket.
Garnett with his 2nd foul. By Goodyear, everything Goodyear has learned, making tires for all-star handling inspires what they roll into yours. Beautiful day in Boston. A couple movies being filmed here. Look at the hub. Now, we've talked all series long about what the big three of Miami have got to score and what it has meant when they've scored a certain number all season long. So Bosch hitting right there at the free throw line. Tonight they've got 29. This is what they've done in wins and losses in this series.
When you think about that game 3 loss with only 44 points, obviously that was a lot to do with Chris Bosh and LeBron James struggling. Looks like tonight Chris Bosh is trying to join the party of LeBron James and D-Wade.
It's LeBron to Wade. Rondo defending, and D-Wade got caught up and loses the ball as the Miami Heat right now are riding a 9-1 run. That's the 8th turnover for Miami. About 5.5 to play in the half. Pierce getting tangled up. James and him playing a little twister. That is a 20-second timeout taken by Boston. Paul Pierce got injured the other night in game 2 with a left Achilles strain. We have a timeout in Boston. Celtics by 3. Hurt him.
Talk about sacrificing your body. He's using his bad dislocated left elbow here to get a hand on the basketball to save this fast break. It kind of startles Dwayne Wade a little bit, and he loses the ball out of bounds. Rajon Rondo, a gutsy performance thus far already.
Pierce going inside to Jermaine O'Neal. The Celtics have missed their last 4 shots when they got that ball, and 5:09 to play here in the second quarter. Boston has led by as many as 11. Miami has not led. Wade picks up his second personal foul. More free throws coming up for the Boston Celtics. Hey fans, don't forget to visit NABA.com, the place to go for Spanish-speaking fans looking to stay up to date with NBA news, game highlights, player chats, and much more. Keep up with the latest NBA events and activities. So here is Jermaine O'Neal at the free throw line. Did you think much about what Boston, and everyone has made, all the writers have talked about the age of the Celtics. Do they have much left in the tank? What they might have had left in the tank after their emotional game 3, transitioning in here to game 4 tonight.
I don't take a lot from it because this is a prideful group right here. This is the guys that have won championship, and Shaq's won 4 of them. And they understand that they're going against a more athletic and free-willing team in the Miami Heat, but Miami did what they were supposed to do. They won 2 on their half court.
Wow, James, hard charging, finding another 2. LeBron's got 18 first half points. Pierce has 15 points for the Boston Celtics. Both teams shooting well over 50% in this first half in game 4.
Shoulders on LeBron James alone. My goodness, there's some NFL teams right now that would be salivating to have him.
Boston has not hit a field goal from the field in almost 4 minutes. Paul Pierce now 4 of 7. Wade wheeling. Bosh, Garnett, and O'Neal defending.
Pushed in the back there by Paul Pierce against Joel Anthony. Anthony, it's that activity on the offensive glass that allows your teams to get second and third opportunities here.
Paul Pierce picks up his second personal foul for the Celtics.
Elbow down low, but enough to root him out of that position. Because if you don't do that, Anthony has the easy tip-in.
Glenn Davis checks in for Jermaine O'Neal. 4.5 to play. Second quarter. Bibby, LeBron, who is 6 of 10.
Both of these teams shooting pretty good from the field. The Celtics almost 56%. The Heat almost 52.
Bibby 2 of 3. A show by Garnett. Davis and James screened by Anthony over Pierce. LeBron. Rebound vacuumed in by Kevin Garnett, and that'll be his second. We know Rondo's got a bad back. We've talked about the elbow. Paul Pierce, we mentioned the Achilles. Ray Allen's got a bruised chest. Good screen by Davis. Kevin Garnett free, who has not operated. Kevin Garnett has not operated much low tonight in that post like he did in game 3.
Yeah, and I'm surprised about that because that's exactly what Doc Rivers was looking for from Kevin Garnett in that game 3 performance when he was so aggressive down low.
Maybe 2 of 4 after that miss. And Boston's ball. Rebounding in the game. Miami +4. 3-point shooting. Each team is at 2 beyond the arc in the first half. Game 2, this was Kevin Garnett.
And even though he made this shot in game 2, that's one of the bad 20 shots that Doc Rivers was talking about. This is what he wanted to see from the future Hall of Famer. Look at his feet. 1, 2 dribbles, gets into the paint, uses that little jump hook.
Rondo. Boston has missed 6 consecutive shots. Quick show there by Anthony. In fact, he's going to stick on Paul Pierce. Rondo scooping it up, and that is an offensive foul.
On Glenn Davis. He was holding Mike Bibby down low so he couldn't get out to Rondo. And here's that small lineup that Eric Spoelstra likes to go to with LeBron James at the power forward position. Look at the skip pass here by Garnett and just a little bit of a brush screen.
Glenn Davis just picked up his second personal foul. That's the Celtics' first turnover in the last 12 minutes. There's been a theme for them as well. Don't turn it over, because Miami always cashes in. Here's Wade, banging off bodies and goes hard. Nice play by Dwayne Wade. 3 of 3, 10 points in 16 minutes. Allen the other way. James with the steal and buckle up for LeBron. Oh! LeBron James has just given the Miami Heat their first lead tonight.
You talk about silencing a crowd. LeBron James by himself in this first half, carrying the Heat, 20 points.
A weaving Pierce. Rondo screened by Garnett, room for Paul to fire. James went down hard. He is slow to get up, and Boston breaks a field goal drought of about 6 minutes. .51% shooting for Miami, 55% shooting for Boston. That is an offensive foul.
Offensive foul on James Jones. Getting in a little match with Kevin Garnett with a little elbow to the chest area.
James Jones picks up his second. So we're in Boston. A lot of you want to know how Reggie Miller gets to the game, how Craig Sager gets to the game. Well, Craig drives and Reggie's in the back seat. Combined for 30 of the Miami Heat's 46 points.
On 10 of 15 field goals, too. And we're talking about two of the best players in the open court. And, again, this is the second for LeBron James in this half. Gets a deflection, finishes in the open court.
And you see the scoring leaders in Chris Bosh, 2 of 8 with 5 points and just a couple of rebounds. Not the performance they needed from him so far.
Is going to have to find some kind of way to get Chris Bosh going offensively in this second half.
Rondo and Glenn Davis with the shot clock down to 7. Here's Allen. He picks and works his way inside. There is another foul. Goes on Miami. 1:55 to play in the first half. Ron picks up his second personal foul. More free throws coming up for the Celtics. Ernie, they're going to take their 17th and 18th free throws here to just the 10 free throws of Miami as we swing it to you in our TNT Arena in Atlanta. That's Hall of Famer Dick Stockton, the voice of the Boston Red Sox. Thank you, EJ. Look forward to that halftime. 2-point, now 3-point Boston lead, 49-46, under 2 to play. And here comes Wade. He has a miss from the field. He's 3 of 3. LeBron against Pierce. Doubled by Allen. Slammed in by an uncovered Wade. They did not block out on the weak side, but Boston normally overloads the strong side of the field.
Well, that's what they had done right there, and that was a fadeaway by LeBron James, but it looked like Ray Allen just fell asleep against Dwayne Wade on that weak side.
Those are the first second chance points of the game by neither team. Here is Garnett. Back high. Lost it inside. Bosh comes up with it. Here comes LeBron. Mike Bibby, who is 2 of 4. Slithering inside is Wade. Ball knocked away. 16 on the shot clock. Reg, let's quickly step back here while we can catch our breaths. As you watch this once again.
Ray Allen just did put a body on Dwayne Wade on that putback. Well, you wanted to step back. Good early start in that first period for the Boston Celtics, but how about Eric Spoelstra and the Heat finding a way to hang around with LeBron James leading the way offensively along with Dwayne Wade.
Pierce, Allen to beat Bibby. The Celtics by 3. They've led by 11. Boston has led most of the game except for a point advantage moments ago by the Miami Heat. In this series, which Miami leads 2-1. Chris Bosh, shot clock down to 9. Wade, the mismatch into Davis. Foul on Davis.
Sometimes
that's his third, Reg.
Yeah, sometimes you can overhelp at times. And right there for Glenn Davis. I like you being aggressive and going for the ball right here, but you had no shot of getting this basketball. You kind of cut on the backside of Dwayne Wade right here, and Wade does the right thing, just goes over. That's the automatic third foul here for Glenn Davis.
So perfect shooting at the free throw line so far tonight for Miami. They are 10 of 10 from the stripe. You should mention the last game, which Boston won, game 3. Miami led at halftime by 2.
And there was that big explosion in that third period, and Rondo got hurt, and they were up 10, and then comes back, and the emotion of this building really lifts them to that 15-point lead in that fourth period.
Wonderful first half for LeBron. Checking out, Mike Miller comes in for the second time. 20 points, 7 of 14 for LeBron. Wade at the line, and Dwayne Wade cans it. So Wade tonight with 13. And you can take a look at how many consecutive double-figure playoff games that man Wade has had in Miami Heat franchise history. Quick timeout, half minute to play in the first half from Boston. Coming up next on TNT, Oklahoma City taking on that rugged Grizzly team in Memphis. Then inside the NBA tomorrow, TNT, Hawks, Bulls. Then inside the NBA, Eric Spoelstra told us, Reggie Miller, before the game how we weather the early emotion of the building and this Boston team with Rondo again playing and starting will be important, and they've weathered it quite well. As you can see, they're down by just 2.
Well, you're talking about one of the best road teams in the league. And you got two of arguably, again, future Hall of Famers in LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. So they've been in situations and environments like this throughout their whole career.
No assists for Miami in the second quarter. Dwayne Wade has rung up 10 points of his 14 tonight in the second quarter. A difference of about 4 seconds, game clock and shot clock. Miller is on Pierce, no fouls to give. Pierce is 5 of 8. Paul Pierce with a 19-point first half. LeBron's got 20. Final seconds, Wade against Rondo. Good if it goes. And that takes us to halftime. A highly entertaining first half. The all-important game 3. Boston on top by 3 in a game that has seen Rondo come back from a dislocated elbow. And although he played it when he dislocated that elbow, all the fourth quarter in game 3, he starts tonight, and he's with our Craig Sager.
Well, certainly an inspirational and gutsy performance, but Miami's plan is to wear you down. How bad is the fatigue setting in?
I'm not fatigued at all. I got a good rest. D. West did a great job coming off the bench, and I'm fine.
We've seen you dribble with the left arm. We've seen you deflect passes, also fight through screens. When does it hurt the most?
It doesn't hurt at all. I can't really say it hurts, because they'll go back and try to do something to us. So I'm fine. I'm out here to play, trying to get another win.
All right, thanks a lot. Rondo playing well, and the Celtics with a 3-point lead. We'll be back with the T-Mobile halftime report. EJ, Kenny, and Charles in our TNT Arena in Atlanta.
Welcome back to Rockin' Boston and the Garden with aerial coverage tonight provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires for all-star handling inspires what they roll into yours. LeBron James has put in 20. Paul Pierce has put in 19. They headline our halftime notes.
Well, and Paul Pierce in 19 minutes, those 19 points. And if you're Doc Rivers, you had to be excited early on about the energy that his Celtics brought. Really, Paul Pierce, I thought offensively, got into the game quickly, not really knowing what Rondo was going to do offensively as well as defensively, coming up with tips. And how about the big 3 for the Miami Heat aggressively? And we talked about what they are in the open court, and here's Paul Pierce with the and one early on. And then Rondo here. We were wondering if he's going to be able to use that left arm. A couple dribbles and gets into the paint with a nice little finish. And now the big three here for the Heat. Deflection here by LeBron James with the finish. Dwayne Wade taking the contact against Glenn Davis. And again, you wonder why this Heat team doesn't get out and transition more. LeBron James with the fadeaway. No one blocks out Dwayne Wade. And we haven't talked about Chris Bosh. Hey, don't worry about me. It's okay. I'm part of the big three, but I haven't shown it in this series yet.
As we take a look at tonight's game summary presented by T-Mobile. Some of the numbers: 58% shooting for Boston against a Miami defense that was amongst the best in the NBA's regular season in field goal percentage allowed and points allowed. There's Rondo out there with Ray Allen with a long two. And that was defended by Chris Bosh. And just like that, Boston has jumped off to a 5-point lead. They have led by as many as 11. Heat have led for only 24 seconds in this game, 46-45, late in the second quarter. Ibby and Bosh. Anthony starts, and will start the second half as well. In place of Ilgauskas, here is LeBron, 7 of 14. Wade is out there, good entry pass, and it's Anthony putting it through. LeBron with the assist.
An extension really of both players, Joel Anthony and Jermaine O'Neal. Looked like Jermaine might have got a piece of that ball. Strength there of Joel Anthony to get the finish.
Paul Pierce is 6 of 9, and at the free throw line, 6 of 7.
So I want to see more. Kevin Garnett only 2 field goal attempts in that first half.
Anthony defends. Rebound by Bosh. Third quarter was ruled by Boston in game 3. Garnett in particular, 7 of 8 with 14 points and 5 rebounds a couple days ago. Let's see if he has that same imprint tonight. Bibby, shot clock at 4. Screen by Anthony, and it's put up by LeBron. Rebound by Garnett, whacked by Bosh, who picks up the Miami foul as we send it over to the colorful Craig Sager.
Well, Rajon Rondo is supposed to have his left elbow examined by doctors at intermission. However, he said, "No thanks. I do not take the pad off. It feels comfortable. I'm ready to go." Doc Rivers said it's going to be much more difficult for him in the second half. Miami's doing a good job of learning how to play off of him. Rondo's going to have to be even more aggressive here in this half than he was in the first. Kevin?
Here's Pierce with a 3. Rebound by Bosh. Quickly, Craig Sager, are they treating him with heat or ice when he sits on the bench in at halftime?
Totally ice. All ice. The same thing it has been the last 2 days.
All right, Craig, here comes Wade.
A little bit surprised at that because you would think the ice would restrict it a little bit while the heat would keep it loose and warm.
Wade slithering, knocked away by O'Neal with a foul called on Boston at the 9:45 mark of the third. Jermaine O'Neal with a couple of years down in Miami. As we mentioned, he picks up his second personal foul, Craig.
Well, Reg, what he was talking about, remember at the beginning you said there was no shot that he was taking and he was not taking any major medication. So the ice basically is to numb the pain, just to make it feel better because he's not taking any narcotic medicine and he turned down a quarter-zone shot.
We really weren't sure if he could even raise his arms. He didn't do it in practice. How is he going to defend? But they did take the MRI. There are no fractures, and the doctors say he can't hurt it any more than he's already hurt it.
And we were watching him in warm-up, and he couldn't even bring that left arm to the basketball. And I was telling you, there's no way this kid is going to be able to play tonight. But when you think about some of the, circumstances some of these other Celtic players have gone through with, Paul Pierce in the finals against the Lakers and the knee injury, the wheelchair coming back out and playing well, and Hondo with his shoulder injury. Still playing. I remember Larry Bird. I was in the old Boston Garden when he used to tear apart my Indiana Pacers during that Game 5 in '91.
Miami just missed their first free throw tonight. Wade's got 15. LeBron's got 20. Rondo is 2 of 3. Works in on Bibby. 17-footer.
Looks okay right there. We talked about him not being able to bring that left arm to the basketball. Well, that's a 15-foot jump shot that Rondo just knocks down.
Inspiring is what his teammates said of his performance in Game 3. Here is Bibby. Micro maneuver is going to play in the NBA for many years. Henry Bibby. Shot clock at 7. A 3 by Bibby. Rebound by James. Quickly past Pierce. Right in front of the doorstep. They couldn't get it to go, and a foul goes on Miami. Joel Anthony, who starts tonight, picks it up. He's got his second. Anthony, by the way, has only got 2 points.
I love this chess match from Doc Rivers and Eric Spoelstra because you've got two of arguably the best defensive teams, and they close out so well. You got to limit second shot opportunities. And Celtics doing a good job on the defensive board.
Anthony was terrific in game 3 with 12 points and 11 rebounds. Playing arguably, like we said before, the best basketball of his career, undrafted out of UNLV. Here is Allen. Garnett, shot clock at 4. Rondo against Bibby. Hard time with the dribble right there, and the shot clock violation. Looked like he got that ball kind of tangled up as he was trying to dribble knee high. Turnover for Boston. Number 7.
You see Doc Rivers telling them to run the offense from side to side. I wish they would try to go to Kevin Garnett a little bit more like they did in game 3 in that third period when you talked about 7 of 8 and 14 points. Really motivated, you know, not only himself and the team, but really got this crowd energized.
Bosch, 2 of 8. Bibby. And off the foot of Pierce. 8:17 to play in the third. In the third game, the third quarter story.
See the two numbers between the two teams right there. 5 turnovers for the Heat. And possessions are so key when both teams defensively are sharp.
Garnett with a little show on Wade. Bosch is left free to fire. And he knocks that down. A good sign for Miami. In 23 minutes, he's got 7 points and 4 rebounds. Chris Bosch, who nationally the writers have put in both papers that he's probably perceived as a little bit soft. Do you think he is a little bit soft?
Well, I think that's an unfair label for anyone. I know Pau Gasol gets hit with that a lot as Ray Allen gets the fade to the corner and misses a wide open 3. You know, Bosch plays with it himself. He doesn't play really with his back to the basket, and a lot of times that's perceived as being soft.
Chance to tie or take a lead. Wade for the tie, and a floater right into the defense of Jermaine O'Neal. 7.5 to play in the third.
LeBron James and Dwayne Wade are attacking the basket really all throughout this game. Especially if it stays this close, they're going to get the benefit of the doubt of those whistles because they are attacking the bigs of the Celtics, just trying to wear down this Boston team.
Pierce is 6 of 10. Garnett over Bosch. Anthony got a hand on it, as did Bibby. Picked up by Bosch, ahead to James, into the defending Paul Pierce.
That's great transition defense there by Paul Pierce and Ray Allen.
Wade by O'Neal, and a floater for Dwayne Wade. Bosch with the tip in. So this puts Miami on top by 2, a 6-0 run, their biggest lead tonight.
Back-to-back baskets here by Chris Bosch. Talked about, no, I didn't want it. I didn't want part of the action. Maybe he heard my words over here.
Oh, Ray Allen. You don't see it often, but when he elevates, the 35-year-old Ray Allen can rock the rim. And he ties it at 59. Allen has put an 8. Bibby. And he's shooting 46%. The drive by James. Feeding off the Wade. Turnover Miami.
Talking about Kevin Garnett. Look at the dump down pass here to Ray Allen and the facial here on Chris Bosch. You're right. You do not see this from a jump shooter. Ray Allen elevating there for his 8th point.
Big 3 for Miami, combining on 46 points. 70 points or more. A beautiful 35-3 record. So they're well onto that mark as Anthony defends the big chicken. Rebound by Bosch.
Yeah, but I like it. That's how you've got to be aggressive if you're Kevin Garnett. A couple dribbles, get into the paint.
Bosch, 9 points and 8 rebounds. Here is Wade around Allen, finding Bosch, who they're looking for now. As you talked about, he's hit a couple in a row.
Well, he's engaged offensively now. They're looking for him.
Huge shot by Chris Bosh, with Garnett defending. Another 2-point lead for Miami, and Bosh is in double figures after a 6-point game 3.
3 for 3 here already in this third period for Chris Bosh.
Rondo 3 of 4. Stolen by Wade, and he'll soar for 2. Timeout, Boston. Turnovers going the other way. Transition points. Miami's got their biggest lead, 63-59.
Well, there has been a Chris Bosh sighting here in this third period. The little dump down, turnaround jump shot, and then the steal by Dwayne Wade. The Heat stepping up their defense. 4-point lead for Miami.
No, everything's walking. Everything's walking. Let's go.
Well, the Celtics are shooting 54% from the field, but they trail by 4, which is their largest deficit in this game 4.
And why Doc wants to run is you can't allow the Miami Heat to come down in a half-court situation and set their defense. We talked about the Celtics being a plus 18 coming into this game 4 situation and fast break points. You let this Heat set their defense, it's very difficult to score against.
Out of that timeout, no changes for either team. Here is Pierce with James defending. Rebound by Chris Bosh. Miami is on a 10-2 run. Bosh claims his 9th rebound. Boston still with no offensive rebounds in the game. Intercepted by Garnett and ahead to Rondo. To Pierce, into Bibby. Paul Pierce with 21. That is a game high.
Exactly what Doc Rivers is talking about. Fuel your offense from your defense. You come up with a steal, get out in transition.
James has not scored in the second half yet. Pierce is on him. They're doubling Bosh. Pierce knocked it away. Garnett slides on the fallen Miami player. That is Bosh. It's going to be a 20-second timeout taken by Boston. How about Garnett? The big ticket with great hustle.
How many 50-50 balls in this series, and especially in game 4, have we seen the Celtics come up with?
Diving on that loose ball.
We've seen the 35-year-old Ray Allen go in and with a facial over Chris Bosh, and then you said the soon-to-be 35-year-old Kevin Garnett going the length of the court, diving on the floor.
Here's Pierce inside. When Davis is checked in for Jermaine O'Neal. That's a foul on James. The twirling Rondo. That's the first offensive rebound for Boston and the 3rd foul called on LeBron.
It's all about the hustle plays. I mean, again, this is another 50-50 ball that the Celtics are finding a way to get their hands on. And look at the contact here. A little bit on that left elbow as well. And see how he shields that when he's going down? Taking most of that hit from his body as opposed to trying to brace himself with that left arm.
Now Garnett trying to go down low. This is what he did so well in game 3. We've not seen much of it in game 4, defended by Anthony. That's one of the reasons why, perhaps. Shot clock at 6 as he dances in a 3-second violation. It's a defensive 3. It's on Miami. And so a free throw coming up for Boston with 3:51 to play in the 3rd.
And Kevin Garnett getting on the floor, coming up with that loose ball, has motivated him. He's asking and calling for the ball down low. Something we hadn't seen here thus far in game 4.
Ray Allen with the free throw. Tonight 3 of 4. He's only missed 1 free throw the entire postseason.
Look at the numbers there by Kevin Garnett. 28 and 18. He hasn't had those kind of numbers in quite a few years, especially points-wise. Rebounds, I believe, not since 2004 when he was with Minnesota.
Shot clock at 6. Anthony defending. Shot clock violation with the air ball thrown up by Kevin Garnett. And tonight, 1 of 6, as you said.
And what did Doc Rivers tell us about those aren't the kind of 20 shots we want from Kevin Garnett when he's just basically 15, 20 feet away from the basket? He's got to be able to take the ball off the dribble.
The right kind of shot.
The right kind of 20 shots.
That's a second shot clock violation this quarter by Boston. Wade over Davis. Dwayne Wade with a beauty from outside. 21 points to match the 21 of Pierce. Wade is 7 of 11. Boy, he has been money in this series after struggling mightily in the regular season against the Celtics. The three was hit as you saw, but a whistle blew before it was launched. Tony Brothers blew the whistle.
And they're going to huddle up. Was the shot up before the whistle?
But it has been a story how Wade has scored so well in this series after averaging about 13 points in the regular season games. The three will count. It does count.
Whistle occurred after the shot here by Ray Allen.
So Allen now has 8 in the quarter and 12 for the game. So they decide that the three-point shot was good before the defensive 3-second call on Miami.
Correct. Celtics are trying some kind of way to get this crowd into it. Miami has done a masterful job of really taking this crowd and staying within striking distance for a little bit of a run.
Bibby, Anthony, Bosch, Mike Bibby, a three. Kevin Garnett has got the rebound. Down court to Davis. Held by Bosch. Or rather by Bibby. Bibby got him from behind. And the aftermath right there. Third foul on Mike Bibby.
Now you're wondering here, as the officials are going to huddle up, is this a flagrant foul? Does Bibby make a play on the ball? That's got to be a flagrant foul, but they're not going to call it that. No, they did not. All right.
What is, who is it? Well, can we just see the highlight first? Can we just see the play you're going to run, the replay you're going to run? Let's hold up. Third quarter going. He's got 8 of his 12 in this game. Davis is at the line before Bibby fouled Davis. It looked like Bosch had picked up a foul trailing the break, but here we go. And this is what they obviously called as Bibby does the bear hug.
And that's the right play. He's trying to make a play on the ball, and he's not trying to hurt Glenn Davis. My next question was, why wasn't it a clear path? Because he was clearly ahead of both defenders, and the official, Derek Stafford, came over and told us because he was in the act of shooting, that took away the clear path.
Bosch was trailing on the play and almost looked like he had committed a foul before that play. Bosch is now sitting out. James Jones is in. LeBron here is Wade with the ball. Anthony is down low, and Chalmers is in. Wade with the miss. Another rebound by Kevin Garnett, who's having a good rebounding third quarter with 5 in the game so far. And Allen with the drive into Chalmers. That is a defensive foul on Mario Chalmers.
I'll tell you what, Kevin Garnett has a different look in his eyes.
4 on Chalmers.
This could have easily been an offensive foul against Ray Allen, but again, between Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and now the more energetic Kevin Garnett, who has just come alive once again, hasn't gotten his offense going, but defensively and defensive rebounding starting to insert himself into this game.
Allen at the line. What is it about third quarters last couple games? It was Garnett in game 3 who was terrific with 14 points. In game 2, LeBron James had a terrific third quarter, which led to a Miami win and going up 2-0 in this series.
You know, a lot of times great players, I wouldn't say they like to coast, but they like to feel their way, especially in the first 2 quarters, and get a rhythm. Really at the start of that third period, that's when you try to really put a stamp on the game and get going either offensively or defensively.
All right, there's a steal by Wade, picked up by Jones, James, and a foul on Boston. with 2:14 to play. Wade very active.
How close was that to an 8-second violation in the backcourt?
Watch the effort right here.
Here's the catch here by James Jones, and then how about to find LeBron James right at half court?
So Garnett is going to check out. We've got 2:14 to play. As we mentioned back in the first half, the 2-minute mark of the first and third quarters are times when Garnett will take a breather. So here comes Green. He'll join Jermaine O'Neal, Delonte West, Paul Pierce, along with Davis on the floor. Mike Miller is checked in for Miami. James Jones will inbound the ball. Anthony will get the inbound pass. LeBron sticks on the floor with Wade. Boston's on a 7-0 run. Fouled by Anthony. Out of bounds and off Miami.
Dwayne Wade, you couldn't have orchestrated a better pass to Joel Anthony. These last 2 minutes are going to be very important for both of these teams here. Trying to carry some type of momentum going into the fourth period.
13 turnovers for Miami. 4 have come in this third quarter. Green is working on Mike Miller. A foul called on Mike Miller. With 1:57 to play in the third quarter. Jeff Green, who's coming off a very good defensive game 3. The best game he's played in the playoffs, said Doc Rivers before the game, will be at the free throw line right here. With a couple coming his way, the resting Kevin Garnett, who has gone 1 of 6. 24th free throw attempt for Boston compared with the 14 of Miami. Good sign for the Celtics and TNT this June. Justice gets a whole new twist. Don't miss the Franklin & Bash series premiere. Wednesday, June 1st, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, only on TNT. Green came over in the trade with Oklahoma City. He was averaging 37 minutes a game with the Thunder. That is not what he is offering this Boston team. The defense coming off the bench for the Celtics.
Talked about the free throw attempts on the season. The Celtics were 22nd and at only 23 free throw attempts a game. The Celtics, or excuse me, Miami Heat, 28 free throw attempts a game, 3rd best.
James, screen by Anthony. Out to Mike Miller. Rebound by Paul Pierce with his 6th rebound. Early release by Green. Miller is on.
Dangerous pass there by Paul Pierce.
Boston is shooting 52%. Miami shooting 46% for the game. Green and Miller. Jeff Green has put in 7 points in 9 minutes.
And I think Doc Rivers has noticed something, especially from the bench players of Miami Heat. He doesn't believe Mike Miller can guard Jeff Green down low.
Boston is on an 11-0 run. James, Anthony. That was right over Jermaine O'Neal. Again, the third quarter has been kind to the Boston Celtics.
And that's a breakdown defensively for the Celtics. You've got to help the helper. Jermaine O'Neal comes over to help Paul Pierce against LeBron James. Someone has to pick up Joel Anthony.
And again, you call it the quick show there by Anthony. Delonte West by Wade. Big baby. O'Neal. Rebound LeBron. The Celtics have a foul to give with a difference of 6 seconds. The game clock and shot clock winding down the third quarter in game 4.
James scoreless here in this third period. 20 for the game.
Screen, switch on defense. O'Neal is on LeBron, who gets in there and grinds for the 2.
See how he turned his back right into the chest of Jermaine O'Neal.
Delonte West, Paul Pierce, James on him. Paul, good if it goes. And the third quarter has come to a close. At halftime, it was Boston on top by 3. They lead by 4. As we go to the fourth, the Celtics close the third on a 14-6 run. 21 for Pierce, 22 for James on TNT. A beautiful night in Boston. Aerial coverage tonight provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires for all-star handling inspires what they roll into yours. We go to the fourth. Boston on top. Moments ago, Craig Sager caught up with Boston head coach Doc Rivers.
Well, Doc, we've been talking so much about Rajon Rondo, but he's been doing his part, but only 1 field goal by Kevin Garnett. Does he have to be active for you to win?
Well, we got to lead without him being active, but we do need him. We need him in the fourth quarter. We're going to feature him on the post. We're going to feature Paul. He doesn't necessarily have to score, but he has to facilitate scoring.
Defensively, who scares you the most from Miami at this point in the game?
They got a lot of guys, but the big two of those are the key guys.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you, Kevin.
All right, Craig, and here we go with LeBron James starting the fourth quarter. Chalmers is in. Bosch, Miller, and Jones round out the five on the floor. Pierce with some nice defense. That is a foul on James.
No, he went up for a shot, and he thought he had gotten fouled, and looked like Paul Pierce did a good job of getting all hand on the ball right there, and he just kicked it out of bounds.
Blocked by Paul Pierce. West out there with Pierce. Jeff Green on the floor with Jermaine O'Neal and Glenn Davis. Knocked away. Shot clock at 7. The double team, Pierce. Davis into Jones. Picked up by Chalmers. Transition right now for Miami. Austin back again.
Their transition defense is unbelievable for Doc Rivers and the Celtics.
It's got to be. Bosch fouled by Jermaine O'Neal. So Chris Bosch will go to the line. 3 fouls on Jermaine O'Neal. We've seen a little bit of Shaquille O'Neal tonight as Garnett continues to rest on a 1-of-6, 27-minute 5-point performance. Shaq came in and played just about 4 minutes. Bosch will be at the stripe. 1 of 1 tonight, and we see 11 more free throw attempts by Boston over Miami. That has been something that has favored the Celtics tonight in this game 4, trailing 2-1. Let's take a look at the schedule for the series coming up Wednesday. TNT will have it for you from South Beach. The Celtics and Heat from Miami, 7 o'clock Eastern time this Wednesday. Then Friday, if we go to a game 6, it's Miami back here in Boston. That'll be on ESPN. And if there is a game 7 next Monday, May 16th, 8 o'clock Eastern, it'll be right here on TNT.
You see of LeBron James only had 2 points, and that came in the closing moments of that third period. Offensively, to kind of put this Heat team on his shoulders. You're within striking distance, down 2.
Davis 1 of 3. Rest off the bench, 3 of 4 with 6. Jeff Green 2 of 4. Davis. LeBron chases it down.
Doc Rivers, this is a very scary time with Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce on the bench.
Outside Miller. Jones. Davis comes to close the door. Taking time with the 2 and maybe take a lead. Bosch the screen. West will trail Chalmers. Shot clock at 3. Bosch for the tie. James. LeBron has got a double-double with 22 points and 10 rebounds and 2 assists tonight.
They're supposed to yelling for LeBron James to get in that mid-post area.
Miller for the lead, a triple. Tonight, Miami shooting threes, 2 of 10. Boston shooting threes, 3 of 8.
Yeah, but you got to continue to take those shots if you're the Heat, Chalmers, or Mike Miller, or James Jones. LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, so much attention when they get into that paint area that really just collapse that defense. If you're Eric Spoelstra, you'll take those wide open threes. It's only a matter of time.
On is Glenn Davis, gone Jermaine O'Neal, back in is Rajon Rondo, back in is Kevin Garnett. Boston has missed their last 5. Under 10 to play in the 4th. Rondo, right to the rack. Rocketing to the rim. 4-point Boston lead. Rondo's got 10.
Right when I thought he was going to use that left arm for that left layup, goes right back to the right.
Defended by Green. LeBron James will go to the line. That's 2 fouls on Jeff Green.
Spoelstra is going to make Rondo prove he can score the basketball around that rim area. I think he's going to go up for that left-hand layup, switches back to the right.
Rule inbound on the far side, and that will be James Jones.
It looks like Spoelstra is going to go with his LeBron James and Dwayne Wade the rest of the way here. Usually Dwayne Wade's coming in for LeBron James.
Wade is in for Miller. Here comes Wade, slashing off the baseline.
And Chalmers got away with a double dribble.
6 seconds on the shot clock.
That was absolutely a double dribble by Chalmers.
A little drought here for Miami. They have an hit from the field in just over 3 minutes. James around Green. Rebound by Kevin Garnett. Picks up his 6th with 5 points tonight. And here comes Rondo to West. James is on West. Tay West. 8:49 to play in the fourth.
You talk about building a wall. Look at the Celtics wall here when LeBron James drives. 3 white jerseys around LeBron James.
Wade picks up his 3rd foul. Protege on the bench, Eric Spoelstra. 11 consecutive losses for Miami here in Boston. These are some of the numbers that kind of relay that story.
The thing that jumps out to me, you look at the field goal percentage. They have not shot the ball particularly well in this building, and you got to give a lot of the credit to Doc Rivers and that Celtic defense. They find ways, and we just saw LeBron James of building walls around LeBron as well as Dwayne Wade.
So let's look ahead now for the final 8:49 of this fourth.
Well, to me, it looks like Eric Spoelstra is going to go with his big 3. As you see Danny Ainge, I'm wondering if Doc Rivers is going to go with his big 4. Rondo's on the floor, giving Paul Pierce a little bit of a break here, who's carried them offensively. To me, it's all going to be about the defensive struggle here with both teams really trying to gut it out.
Boston plus 11 points off the bench. Chalmers and Rondo. Allen defending Wade. Look at him snake inside. And a Boston foul with 8.5 to play in the fourth. Jeff Green saying he was the guilty party, and he is for the 3rd time.
Tell you what, LeBron and Dwayne all night have done a great job. We talked about building the wall. You can't let them get this far down. You've got to have the weak side, and you can't split the double team if you're Kevin Garnett.
And this is no surprise, obviously, that Miami is doing it. They are an attacking team. They want to get in the lane. They want to get points in the paint. They want to force themselves to the free throw line.
And having said all that, they're one of the better road teams. They find a way to hang around because they have 2 pretty good closers, guys that can attack the basket in LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. Percentage-wise, it's going to be very interesting. And I believe there's a stat out there. They're 1 of 19 when the game is tied or they're down 3 with 10 seconds left. This is one of these games where one of these superstars are going to have to take over for Miami.
Wade with 23, LeBron with 22. They go inside to Garnett with a nice hesitation. Gets his own miss, but can't tap it in. Rebound by LeBron. He's got 12. Pierce has got 21, 14 from Allen. Rondo's got 10. Garnett's got 5. It's Wade against Delonte West. Bad looking shot. Here comes Bosch. Nice defense by Boston. And here comes the twirling Allen. Rondo. Green could not find the handle.
Yeah, that's a tough pass there by Rondo. Going into a 6'10 guy. He's going full speed. Come over the steal here. Rondo, maybe you take one dribble and draw LeBron James to you and throw it to the rim.
Paul Pierce is back in, taking the place of Green. Here comes Miami, 0 of 6 in this 4th quarter shooting. Pierce is on James. West is watching Wade. It's a Delonte West foul. Injured this season, broken wrist. He's had ankle issues, bad shoulder tonight. And had the MRI on the schedule, did not get it taken. He felt his shoulder was fine. He did get a shot to relieve the pressure earlier. West picks up his 1st.
And that's the 4th team foul by the Boston Celtics. One more, and the Heat are shooting. We've got 7:45 left in this 4th period.
Garnett picks up on LeBron. This is Bosch outside. That's over Garnett. Rebound by Pierce. Number 7, Paul. Rondo, and that is through the hands of another. Oh, that's going to say off of Miami, tipped and deflected as the officials confirm.
Are they saying it's off Kevin Garnett or off Dwayne Wade?
They said it was off of Wade. Initially, they marked it off of Boston, then they said Wade.
We have the benefit of replay. That is a tough call right there. It's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Nonetheless, Celtics basketball.
And the shot clock at 13. Allen can't hit. Another rebound by LeBron. Surrounded by 4 defenders. West from behind gets the ball. Allen. Rondo. Pierce with the 3. Rebound, Anthony off his hands and picked up with about 7 to play in the 4th. The teams are combined, and this is an ugly number. 1 of 13 shooting from the floor in the 4th.
We talked about these 2 of the best defensive teams along with Chicago.
Ron taking it inside with the drive as Miami has not hit from the field in over 5 minutes. 9 seconds in the shot clock right there.
We saw some of the cases of the Boston Celtics and their transition defense. Look at this. This is what you talk about, building another wall out front. That is 4 jerseys around LeBron James with Delonte West coming from behind. And we talked about the early foul trouble in this 4th period here for the Celtics. Now the Heat are shooting free throws the rest of the way.
Rondo picks up his first personal foul. This is LeBron, 5 of 5 from the stripe. It's another with his 23 to match the 23 of Wade. So 46 between those 2. 13 from Bosh. 3 in double figures for Boston. Pierce with 21. Allen with 14. 10. Rajon Rondo in 30 minutes and 4 of 5 from the floor and 5 assists. You can see those impressive lines right there. Those free throw attempts, playoff history for LeBron. Knocking down a couple of beauties right there.
Yeah, he was shooting 54% coming into this series or during this series tonight. 7 of 7 from the line. But both of these teams have gone with small ball. LeBron James is the power forward position for the Heat.
Miami would prefer to play small.
Yes, they would, because it's hard to match up with LeBron James at that 4 position.
James deflects, picked up by Wade. West is on him. Approaching 6 to play in the 4th. LeBron to the rack. Muscling by Rondo. Sliding by Garnett. And Miami is on top by 1. Their first field goal in about 6 minutes.
This is exactly what Eric Spoelstra wants. You just want to hang around while you're on the road, because you have 2 guys that are going to put so much pressure on your defense in Wade and James.
Pierce with 21. Looked right into the eye of LeBron James and puts up a sweet fadeaway. 23 for Pierce. And LeBron with 26. What a matchup that has been in this series.
Give me great offense any day. I'll take defense who wins championships. When you need buckets, you need guys that know how to create. Paul Pierce is one of those men.
He did 44% shooting. This is way knocked away by Pierce. Bosh picks it up with a timely 2. He's got 10 rebounds and 15 points. Does Chris Bosh tonight in game 4.
Now if you're Doc Rivers, you're back to that slow tempo. What happened to getting out and trying to get some early ones?
Allen for 3. Rebound by Wade. Shooting threes tonight. Celtics 3 of 10. Miami 2 of 10. Paul Pierce moments ago hitting his 8th shot in 16 tries as he went mano a mano with LeBron James. The 23 from Pierce. Boston trails by 1. Boston is led by as many as 11. Miami is led by as many as 4. Where will the final 5 minutes of this game take us?
Well, if you're Eric Spoelstra in the Heat, this is exactly what you wanted. You've got LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, someone in a groove and a rhythm offensively. You're up 1 with the basketball and in the bonus. Continue to attack the lane.
James Jones. LeBron, Wade, Bosh, all out there for Miami. He's on the fly. LeBron can't get it to go. Chalmers is the 5th Miami Heat player on the floor. Here's West and Rondo in the backcourt. Pierce, Allen, and Garnett up front. 4.5 to play.
Well, if it's not Paul Pierce, where else is the offense going to come from the Celtics?
Allen and Jones. Garnett had it knocked away by Wade. Shot clock at 4. Kevin's got a fire. Over Bosch. Rebound by Wade.
Bad possession for Doc Rivers and the Celtics. Good pressure defense there by Miami.
James 9 of 21. Off of Miami. The defense by Pierce. Turnover number 15 for the Miami Heat.
Hands up on Paul Pierce. To knock it right back off of LeBron James. He just slips out of bounds.
Screen by Garnett. Bosch comes in to pick up Pierce. A look for Rondo. Here comes LeBron. Bear hug by Garnett at midcourt. Garnett with his 3rd foul. And moments ago, Garnett heard these words from his coach, Doc Rivers.
I want y'all to go as hard as you can. If you need a blow, I got timeouts. All right? With ball pressure, everything. This is it right here for us. Let's go. Come on.
And they're going up against the big 3, including James at the line for Miami, when the big 3 this season has scored 64 points or more. Their record 46-9. So here is James, 7 of 7 from the stripe. He hits the first. We go to Ernie Johnson.
One only, play the release only. One.
James just hit another. So LeBron has been spotless at the stripe with a 9 of 9 night. 13 rebounds and 28 points to lead all scores. 6 in the quarter.
Go along with 13 rebounds as well for LeBron.
It's Garnett way outside. Shooting over Bosch. Rebound by Jones.
And that's all jumpers, and that's one of those bad 20 shots that Doc Rivers is not looking for Kevin Garnett. More in the paint area.
Both teams in this quarter, 2 of 11. Shooting. Shot clock at 5. Wade off to LeBron. Puts up a triple. Rebound, Kevin Garnett. He's got 7. Miami has missed their last 7 threes. Here comes Rondo. Pierce right into Bosch. Outside. West for 3. The Boston bench has outscored the Miami bench tonight, 21-7.
Paul Pierce drawing a page from the LeBron James. Well, look at that. 3 defenders around Paul Pierce. You kick it out for the wide open 3 by Delonte West.
The entire 4th quarter has been played within an 8-point window. Big leaders. Miami is led by as many as 3. Boston is led by as many as 5. Under 3 to play. Miami leads this series 2 games to 1. Wade over Garnett. Garnett vacuums in the loose ball. Rondo. West. They rotate. A 3. Ray Allen. Two consecutive 3-point hits by the Boston Celtics. James. He's working on Pierce. Shot clock at 4. LeBron. Big time triple.
We are in a shootout, my friend. Back-to-back threes for the Celtics to take the 3-point lead. And LeBron James answers the call.
LeBron's got 31. Pierce looking for Cutting Ray Allen. It sails out of bounds. 3-pointers for both teams.
And it's all been about ball movement for the Celtics. Ray Allen, 3-ball corner pocket. And then look at the ISO right in front of the Celtics bench.
LeBron has put in 9 of his 31 here in the fourth quarter. Screened by Bosch. Here comes the slippery Wade.
This is the situation everyone's wanting to see Miami in. They've struggled in this situation, closing games.
LeBron, another 3. Rebound, Allen. It's off to Rondo. And here comes Boston.
This is what I like about Boston, trying to be aggressive in the open court situation.
Garnett to Rondo. It's picked up by Wade.
How did Rondo miss that point-blank layup? He was going too fast.
Boston, no fouls to give. Miami's got 1. Fouls to give, and here comes LeBron. Shot clock at 6. James. LeBron with 33 points. He puts his Heat on top by 2 with 48 seconds to play. Hitting from outside moments ago. Carving his way inside with a chiseling move against Paul Pierce. And a timeout here in Boston. Regulation.
Well, with that foul to give, that allows the Miami Heat to be very aggressive, especially on the perimeter. If you're the Boston Celtics, you got to take the best available shot. And that means Paul Pierce putting his head down. He's done a wonderful job in this fourth period of attacking the lane and sucking the defense to him.
Well, James is really into this defensive possession right here. Pierce by James, by Bosch to the hole. He ties the game at 86. Paul Pierce with 25.
And what that does, scoring so quickly, depending on how long it looks like the Heat is going to run down this clock, you get another opportunity if you come up with a stop to win this ball game.
This is on LeBron. James. Ray Allen's got the ball.
And that's the foul they
fouled. Yep.
Foul to give.
Yep. With 19.5 to play. Smart foul by Miami.
LeBron James just lost the basketball right here. Good defense there by Paul Pierce. Ray comes up with the steal.
And James Jones did pick up the foul for the Miami Heat, and another timeout has been taken. Little bump right there on Ray Allen with the foul to give. Now we are tied. 19 seconds to play. 19.5 to play. Boston's ball.
First and foremost, if you're Doc Rivers and the Celtics, you have to get the ball inbounds. No timeouts left. To me, I like Paul Pierce and the ball in his hands. And why do I like that? At 6'8", 6'9", being able to look over the defense. But we've seen a couple times this season, out of these out-of-bounds situations, Doc Rivers has gone for lobs, right out of bounds quickly, but that's when they've been down. This is a chance for them to win the basketball game with the game tied. Look for the Celtics to shoot the last possible time.
Miami with a full timeout, a 20-second timeout left. Miami and Boston are tied. Boston with no timeouts.
Man, I can't stress enough how important it is with no timeouts for the Celtics for them to be able to inball the ball cleanly with this 19.5 seconds left in the game. Both teams over the bonus.
Rondo and West. Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, the Boston Five. 19.5 to play. No timeouts for Boston. Rondo will inbound and Chalmers will defend out there with LeBron, Wade, James Jones, Joel Anthony. Anthony has come in for Bosch.
Watch the flare screen here too for Ray Allen. Pick the picker.
Jones and Allen. LeBron defending Paul Pierce. Pierce over LeBron. Overtime. Overtime at 86. The frustrated Pierce. And game 4 will go to an extra session.
This was supposed to be a brush screen with Ray Allen on Kevin Garnett's man, but it never happened. It was supposed to be a high screen and roll. Shot clock was running down. Paul had no choice but to go left. He wanted to go right to get to his sweet spot.
Tied at 86. Well, there's been a lot written about the old legs of Boston against the young legs of Miami. What are you seeing in terms of what's left in the tank for either team?
Well, look, it's playoff basketball. Both teams can go deep in the well. I'm curious to see, are they ever going to go to Kevin Garnett? It looked like they tried to go to him down low. He's only 1 of 9 in this game with only 5 points. If you're Doc Rivers, you got to have some type of inside presence.
Aiden Chalmers, Bosh, Jones, and LeBron James, the Miami 5. Shot clock is down to 7. Wade. And LeBron picked up by Pierce. Shot clock at 2. What a shot by LeBron James.
I mean, that is good D, better O by LeBron James.
James with 35.
About 15 turnovers for the Celtics, resulting in 25 points.
Allen for 3. He has struggled from distance tonight as Ray Allen, who is from 3-point territory, now 2 of 5. Rondo and West in the backcourt. Pierce, Allen, and Garnett up front. James whips the pass, and Bosh puts in his 17th point. And James, as you can see, shaken up. He just picked up his 3rd assist, and he got hit below the belt.
It's a good timeout there by Doc Rivers, sensing the momentum is shifting over there towards Miami. Look at the fadeaway here by LeBron James.
Beauty.
I mean, that's good defense there by Paul Pierce, but then high pick and roll with LeBron James. Nice dish down to Chris Bosh. You know, in playoff basketball, superstars react and they respond, and that's exactly what LeBron James has done after that lackluster Game 3 performance here in the Garden. Now, if you're Doc Rivers, you're asking the question, how am I going to score offense here in this overtime session with a struggling Kevin Garnett down low? LeBron James is just hovering and hounding Paul Pierce. Ray Allen, he can't get a wide open look coming off a screen, has struggled.
Rondo is out. Jeff Green has come in. Green and West. And the Boston big 3 up front.
The reason why Doc Rivers is doing that is because Chalmers was helping so much off of Rondo because of his non-shooting ability. Now you've got all scorers on the floor here for the Celtics.
Miami is tied. Their biggest lead tonight is screened by Garnett. Here comes Pierce. West for 3. Tapped by Wade, picked up by LeBron. And Miami comes the other way, up by 4. Approaching 3 to play in our first overtime. Wade. Rebound by Jeff Green. Dwayne Wade tonight, 7 of 17 with 23. That is a terrific play by LeBron James, defending Paul Pierce.
Now is LeBron getting the job done offensively, but look at defensively. Just really guesses and anticipates where Paul Pierce is going here. Guesses right, goes left, gets the offensive foul.
And James was charged up because of it. So Boston has started the overtime 0 of 2 with 2 turnovers. Here comes Wade, who has not hit a shot in the 4th quarter or OT, 0 of 5 combined. Crossover on West. Out to James. Pierce is there. LeBron 12 of 26. Long 2. Rebound Garnett. He's got 10 with 5 points.
If you're LeBron, you couldn't have shot the ball any better than that. In and out. But again, the struggles offensively here for the Celtics. Another turnover. That's their 17th turnover. Usually you would have your point guard, but we talked about the Heat wanting to wear down Rondo and that dislocated left arm. Looks like it's starting to take its toll on him.
3 overtime turnovers so far by Boston. Wade, Jones, Dwayne against West. 3 to shoot. A 3. Oh, what a shot by Wade! That gives Miami their biggest lead. Dwayne Wade with 26, but none prettier than that.
When you have two players that command so much attention, this is a very difficult shot. LeBron hit one, and how about the step back here by Dwayne Wade to put the Heat up by 7.
EJ, they have just ruled that shot by Dwayne Wade. Initially ruled a 3, a 2. So it is a 6-0 start for Miami to tip off this overtime. Boston has had 5 straight empty trips in OT with turnovers, and Miami and Eric Spoelstra on top 92-86 as you take a look at some of the numbers through a very short 3 minutes of OT so far.
I'm going to give a lot of credit to Eric Spoelstra and this Miami Heat defense. When it's counted the most, they have stepped up their pressure and really gone after the big 3 of the Boston Celtics.
I mean, some of the minutes played by the Celtics. 43 minutes by Pierce, 40 minutes for Garnett. Allen with 43. Rondo's played 38. I mean, you got to feel that this team, which is older than Miami and much written about in both cities, might be taking a little bit of its toll right now.
We're talking about a 36-year-old in Ray Allen, a soon-to-be 35 in Kevin Garnett, and 33 in Paul Pierce.
And Pierce goes inside to Garnett, who faced a body blow there by Wade, who picks up his 4th foul. And there is no player in the game with 5. We've got a handful sprinkled on both teams with 4 personal fouls. And Kevin Garnett at the free throw line as Rondo sets to check in. Garnett tonight from the stripe, 3 of 4 with 5 points, 1 of 9 from the field tonight for KG after Reggie arguably one of his best playoff performances in a long time with 28 points and 18 rebounds in the game a couple days ago.
Well, we talked about him setting the tone in the second half in game 3 with those 14 points, 7 of 8 shooting. But that was one of the questions that Doc Rivers, as well as Eric Spoelstra, can Kevin Garnett keep continuing giving you that offensive pressure each and every night with only 1 day in between?
Rondo is in, taking the place of Jeff Green. Chalmers, Jones, LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, the Miami 5. James with 35, Wade with 25, 17 for Bosh. Only Miami players in double figures. Chalmers, 5 on the clock. Rondo defending, kicked out of bounds, a Miami turnover. That's their 17th.
Now the Celtics defense starting to step up here now. Again, the success they just had on that play before with Paul Pierce and that high pick and roll with Kevin Garnett.
Rondo got a slight screen there from Garnett. Chalmers is on him. Timeout, Boston. 13 on the shot clock, 1:24 to play in overtime, and Doc Rivers will talk with his team down by 4. And we will step aside as well. Rondo is out. Jeff Green back in. Shot clock at 8. Boston just inbounds. Allen, Garnett, mismatch against Wade. Will he try to exploit? He does. James the rebound. Kevin Garnett, 1 of 10. And James clutches on to his 14th rebound tonight.
Looks like tired legs from Kevin Garnett on that.
So
no lift.
41 minutes. Crossover by Wade, slashing to the rack, rejected by Garnett, who got there nicely, and a foul called. And that'll go on KG, who picks up number 4.
First in the last 2 minutes.
So Wade will be at the free throw line. And Dwayne tonight 9 of 10. And the big 3. Been 75 or more in a game, 29 and 3 And tonight, 77 points from the three combined.
A lot of those coming from their two main players, LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. Have done a wonderful job of continuing to attack the middle of the Celtics. Now Boston with no timeouts. You can't advance the basketball. Only under a minute left here.
Here's Hansett. The Celtics down by 5. Screened by Garnett. Pierce with the drive. Right into Bosh.
No need to foul here. You're only down one possession here.
Again, Boston is out of timeouts. Miami's got 3. And LeBron.
What the Celtics don't want to do is let the shot clock run down here. And they make a silly foul here. Got to play solid defense.
Garnett will be on James for one of the few times tonight. LeBron sizing him up. Tip in Bosh. Big time play by Chris Bosh. Maligned after game 3, 19 points and 11 rebounds tonight. He's got 4 in overtime. Big 2 right there with the tip in. A 3 by Delonte West. Rebound Wade. 15.8 to play. And Bosh finding revenge after the dismal game 3, starring tonight along with the other big 2 on this team.
Well, Bosh was talking about the emotions may have been too great for him after game 3. Here with the nice tip here. Staying active on the offensive glass for Miami and Eric Spoelstra in the Heat.
You were saying earlier tonight we're going to see what Chris Bosh is made of after the performance in game 3 of 6 points and 5 rebounds. And tonight he has answered with his 19 and 11. At the free throw line is Wade. And tonight we did not know if Rondo would play as well as he had. Showing great heroism coming in and playing 39 minutes. 4 of 7 with his 10 points and 5 assists. And here comes West losing the ball, and that'll be it. And Miami is going to go up 3-1 with the foul there on Kevin Garnett, who picks up number 5 and 9 seconds to play.
Chris Bosh will be at the line, shooting 2.
Wonderful win, obviously, for Miami. Bosh will be at the line. And the Miami Heat making the necessary adjustments to come in. To you, what was the biggest difference between their performance a couple days ago and tonight here in game 4?
LeBron James. We talked about his struggles and what he does. You see Pat Riley, what he does afterwards, coming off one of his most disappointing playoff performances in those 15 points. I thought he was more engaged. He was alive. He was active at both ends of the floor.
20 and 11 for Bosh. James only had 15 points in the loss for Miami a couple days ago. Here is Pierce. And Miami goes up 3-1 over Boston with an elimination game coming up on TNT from Miami on Wednesday. Miami wins it 98-90. 35 from James, 28 from Wade, 20 from Bosh, 27 from Pierce, leading Boston. For Reggie Miller and Craig Sager, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Boston.